So the peer-to-peer has the power of bypassing governments, any a centralized server system. So that's the power of it, right? However, let's say I upload a video on my computer and I share that video to some other peer, right? That means my neighbor, he has a computer, he downloads it, and he becomes a server and he serves it to somebody else. Another peer, that means my neighbor's neighbor, downloads from him. So that's how it works. So I have a server which is also a client. So I download from somewhere else. I see the movie. After that, I realize, oh, why don't I serve it to somebody else? So I upload it. I put it my server so somebody else can download it. He downloads it, and from him somebody else will download it. So that's a peer-to-peer network, right? They all keep downloading it. Now let's say my neighbor is not a authentic guy. He wants to mess up things, right? So what he does is he downloads the file. After that, he edits it. He changes something there, right? He alters the message and he sends to the next guy. And next guy gets a wrong file. He's misinformed. And that's a error node or error here. And that's going to cause a lot of problems, right? Now, Bitcoin also works in a peer-to-peer network where all the computers are connected together, right? Then what happens in Bitcoin? How does Bitcoin fix the problem of somebody messing up with it, right? That's the challenge that's solved by the Bitcoin system, right? It has got a consensus model. That's what they say. I don't want to use the word in this session, but what they're saying is they will say the majority of the computers are going to say something and they're going to go with it, right? So that means minority of the computers, one guy being a hacker, 10 guys being a hacker, 49% of the guys being hacker. It's okay as long as 51% of the people, computers are not bad or not wrong, right? So Bitcoin trusts 51% of the computers will always be right. That's a trust Bitcoin has. Now just imagine South Korea decides, or North Korea or China decides to build super computing power and host supercomputers in a huge data center, which is more than 51% of the entire network, right? Capacity. Can they bring down the Bitcoin? Still, they have Bitcoin encryption issues to deal with, but then they can bring it down. So when people say no, they cannot bring the Bitcoin down, it's probably not conceptually true. But China will need a war budget for something like this, right? They cannot build it without huge budget. And even if they do it, it is not going to be easy because they are going to break the whole system and they're going to lose all the money they put for that infrastructure. So unless they bring down another country by spending that money, right? But remember, Bitcoin network is also growing. Every day, more and more power is being added into Bitcoin network because rewards are going to go up. In America, by 2030, there's a huge electricity shortage going on. Is it a relevant information for Bitcoiners? Yes, we'll discuss it later. But remember, Bitcoin will still shift. The Bitcoin mining hubs and all those things will still continue to shift because global dynamics, there are issues. People see. So today, 2 weeks ago, I spoke to the electricity. So when my mining center, my electricity charge was 4.99 cents. That's what I used to pay. It's wholesale price, right? Then 4 weeks ago, 1 month ago, I called somebody and for a different court because I relocated to Austin. It's insane. They are saying 9 point something, right? Electricity cost doubling up like this, miners will have serious issue because uh, currently the Bitcoin money went doubled, right? So we are almost break even in that case. People are saying 6.8, all those things are reasonable, but on top of it, they have to pay distribution charge and all those things. But that's what's happening in the world. Electricity, Bitcoin can be challenged by certain things, but very unlikely, really unlikely. And people are saying impossible. I also believe it's impossible. But conceptually, I can challenge people. And especially people understand supercomputers. Supercomputers are something that I'll discuss later. Anyway, Bitcoin does not have a government, right? Governments don't have any control. So, in order to control government wants to create a blockchain. It's called, central bank uh, CBDC. What it does is government will own it. So, when government owns a blockchain, it challenges the decentralized nature of it, and that's when we start calling it private blockchains, where they're owned by a private party. Government is also a private party in this case. Now, when government owns something similar to Bitcoin, what's going to happen is government will know who owns it. So Bitcoin has something called transparency. Means Bitcoin will tell you how many transactions happen today, who sent money to who, right? That wallet information, everything else. But the name of the who is not available. It's just a wallet ID. You do not know who it is ever. You can see all the information passing there and here, but you never know who it is, right? But if government starts something very similar to Bitcoin, one day government can say, okay, I'm going to block this address. That means that guy has to reveal his identity. Then government will allow further transactions. Government can say that. So that's why the government enabled cryptocurrencies are as good as today's fiat currencies. For example, the US government starts something like a US dollar as a central bank DC. That's going to happen. It's going to be under strict guidance and governance of government. It's as good as current dollar, right? Anyway, but remember, Bitcoin does not have anybody controlling it. That's a major beauty. That's what when you call decentralized. Decentralized means no owner. It's nobody knows where it is. It is not in a central location. If you go and find for a Bitcoin server, you cannot find it. You find something, but that is not even a important factor. That if you just go destroy it, nothing happens to Bitcoin. That's what decentralized means. Now you will hear this word decentralized a lot. I want you to really, really digest it, see, think about it, understand, get complete wisdom of the words. That's why I'm dragging this presentation. I want to make sure that people, I gave this lecture to people. They don't understand. They understand it, they go, they forget it. This time, once and forever, please take notes. Do not forget it. This time is worth spending this time. Okay. Also imagine you can put $100 billion of Bitcoin in a small USB device, right? You can actually write $100 billion of Bitcoin just on a paper, as a piece of paper. Just write down the keyword, and you can just go to a different country, and you're carrying $100 billion worth of money with you, right? When you do that, just remember, don't lose it. If you lose it, you lose everything. It's good for Bitcoin though. If you lose $100 billion of money, it's very good for Bitcoin because our supply will still crunch. You can send Bitcoin from here to anywhere in the world. For example, if my friend Jennifer, she wants 10 Bitcoin sent by me, and she calls me, Binoy, I need 10 Bitcoins right now. Can you send to me? I will ask Jennifer, can you send me your wallet address? So Jennifer will send me a wallet address, which is very simple wallet address, which I will demonstrate very soon. She has a wallet address, right? It's like a mailing address. She will send me the wallet address, and I check my wallet and I see there's no Bitcoin. So I call her and say, Jennifer, I want to send you 10. Actually, I want to send you 20, but I don't have a single Bitcoin. Sorry, right? But if I had 20 Bitcoin, will I send it? No. Why would I send her 10 Bitcoin? I wouldn't send her one Bitcoin. I would never send a single Bitcoin to anybody. I'm sorry, I'm selfish. But she says, Binoy, send me 10 Bitcoins. I will send you 100 Bitcoins back. Probably I'll send. So in that case, I go to my wallet. I click on send button, right? There's a button called send. Click on send. I copy her wallet ID, which she sent me an email or a text. I copy that. It's a very simple text. Paste it in the to address. And I say 10 in the amount column and click on commit send button. So what Bitcoin network will do is tells me, Binoy, I am ready to send you 10 Bitcoins to Jennifer. but you got to pay me a little bit of fee. And I asked them, how much fee? And Bitcoin say, you need to pay me $1.90. $1.90, yeah. And I was wondering, okay, too much money. I have to spend $1.90. No, I can't send $1.90. Why don't I do one thing? I will send only one Bitcoin. Can you send me, can you give me a different number? Because I don't want to spend $1.90. Then Bitcoin network will come and tell me, and it will tell me, Binoy, you have to pay me $1.90 even for one Bitcoin. Then I get confused. Oh, I need to send one. So any Bitcoin you send, it's based on transaction, right? It's not based on the amount of Bitcoin I send. It's purely based on transaction. And if when I send the transaction in the morning, the money they charge me is probably much different than the money they charge me in the midnight where there's no traffic. So based on the traffic, the number of transaction happening in the Bitcoin right now, it changes. And Bitcoin supports probably, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 transactions per second or something of that sort, right? It doesn't support a lot of transactions too. It's called TPS. But now you understand, you download a tool called MetaMask, and you click on two, three buttons, and it will give you a password or a phrase and a private key, which you store somewhere, which will also give you a public key, which you can send it to anybody in the world. And you send, anybody asks, you send it. What I do is I'll take my Bitcoin address and put it in my video and say that everybody please donate something, right? I could do that. And you have my private public key that does not do any risk on me, except I publish my public key to the world. Now government knows that public key is mine. And if I have $100 million in it, government can come and ask me, hey, Binoy, we know this public key is yours. You have $100 million, where did you get the money from? Right? Government can ask you. So the only risk of exchanging your public key with anybody is regulatory, right? Legal within you need to pay tax and all those things, which is okay because you are probably not doing anything illegal, right? If you are doing anything illegal, you shouldn't even, I don't know, please don't do anything illegal. Please be nice. But I'm just providing you an idea how uh, a, a hidden public address can be revealed to the world, right? And people will all know how much money you have. And some people, for example, there is a promoter who took a lot of money from a lot of clients, and he used the same public ID, right? His address. Now he was caught in one transaction. Somebody caught him, and they revealed it. And when they revealed it, they saw all other transactions happened in his wallet, which are really, really different transactions from different companies. So everything that he did in the past was revealed by this system, right? So whenever you are supposed to reveal your public ID, what I do is typically, especially when I deal with my friends and business partners or whoever it is, I create a dummy wallet ID. And you can create thousands of wallet ID for free, right? You download the MetaMask, create thousands of wallet ID. As long as you back it up, the private keys, and store it in the same place, it's okay. You create all the IDs, but you create a particular wallet called, I call it burn wallet, right? That's what I spend. My spend wallet. For example, in your bank, you have savings accounts and checking account. Would you keep a lot of money in your checking account? No, you put all the money in your savings account. Checking account has got minimal money, right? The spent money. If your monthly expense is $5,000, you have $5,000 in your checking account. You don't put anything more than that, right? Because checking account is riskier. Somebody can take the money out and all those things, right? So similarly, your wallet that you do frequent transactions should not be having a lot of money, minimum money, because somebody can steal into your computer, take your steal your wallet, steal your password, private key, everything, and take all your money. So more wallets you have, better, right? But now you understand. You go create an account, create a wallet using MetaMask, find your public key, send it to anybody, ask them to send you money, and they can, by click of a button, they can send you. Click of one or two buttons, they can send you money, just like that. And Bitcoin money, they send Bitcoin money within minutes. You get. the money in your wallet if you're lucky. Sometimes it takes probably 10 minutes or something. Uh, and depends on, Matic sometimes takes within second. If you transfer money from Matic, within seconds you get it. And Solana, so fast. All layer two tokens are really fast. Injective, all those things are too fast. Anyway, so when you compare this Bitcoin with the global networks, say payment networks like Swift and all those things, where countries exchange money using fiat currencies. Fiat means legal tender. Fiat, they mean uh, countries. Every country has got their own currency, right? That's fiat. We call it fiat, or legal tender, right? So there's one country in the world where the legal tender is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is also a legal tender, right? That means very interesting, right? We'll talk about it later. But just imagine a country is having smaller country where the world is conducted. So they decided to do Bitcoin as the national currency, one of the national currencies, and they have a city where everything is Bitcoin, credit card transactions, everything. Even in California, there is a city, a small town, a park or something, right, in a beach or something, where they have Bitcoin transactions, right? So that's also happening. So if you see any banks and banking systems and the international banking systems, if you have to spend money to somewhere in a third world country, as I said, complex, inefficient, slow, and expensive. You need to spend a lot of money for wiring money, right? Right? If you have to wire some money, you are not giving $1.90. You are spending easily $25 or $75 for wiring money, right? Especially international. International is more expensive. Ethereum has high gas price. They had a Duncan upgrade and they brought it down, but still it's expensive. Um, but usually this is $1, $2 deals in these places, right? Bitcoin is currently a global currency and we call it store of value. Store of value means gold is store of value, right? You store it as a value and it will automatically go up by time, right? That's what called storage, storing it as a value. And Bitcoin is not just that now, right? Ethereum had smart contract. Similarly, Bitcoin also has got a smart contract kind of a thing. And we call it layer two, BRC20 tokens, and more, it's becoming smarter, right? So, very similar to smart contract, things are being built on top of Bitcoin, right? Ordinals is very similar to NFTs. We will talk about NFT and ordinals later. But those things are also being built on top of Bitcoin. Lightning Bitcoin is a payment infrastructure which is probably illegal in certain places of the world because it's not traceable. IRS, SEC does not like Lightning Bitcoin, right? Because Lightning Bitcoin, there is traceability issues and there are money laundering problems and all those things with the Lightning Bitcoin. But there are layers on top of Bitcoin. They're building it. So you should start watching stacks and ODI and things like that, ORDI, all those tokens. They are going to be built on top of Bitcoin, right? SOV token, Alex. There are so many tokens that are being built on top of Bitcoin. What I mean to say is that within no time, within 1 year or 5 years time frame, you will see huge infrastructure built on top of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is going to grow in two ways. One is huge infrastructure built on Bitcoin, like Matic and Ethereum platforms, right? On top of Ethereum, the IMX, so many tokens, so many infrastructure components on top of Matic, right? Ethereum. Just similar to that, there's going to be a lot more tokens and components on top of Bitcoin in another 1 or 2 years' time. On top of it, Bitcoin is going to be an instrument that will be used as money transactions and financial transactions. So I would say financial derivative that will have a lot of forms in this market, and starting from ETF options and things like that, but much more complex derivatives in the world, right? So you start seeing all those things. Now, I want to Everybody up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Now, I spoke a lot about a lot more things. And if you understood it, it's good. If you didn't understand it, read once again. Then go and check out things like what is Lightning Bitcoin. Check it out in Wikipedia, and you will know more. But if you don't have time for it, and I will do more videos on these things eventually, right? I'm going to take a break. Then I am going to continue this in another video. The reason is I want you to just take a break and enjoy this. And if you see a 2 hour video, you will not watch it. I will not watch it. So I want to at least give a break. So it's a single video of one video, and another video is part two. But the same thing, sixth grader, part two. Okay. Thank you.